Welcome to Lions Live 365. I'm your host, Michael Ayers, and today we are doing a recap on the first week of free agency. I am amazed at what the Lions have done, uh, good and bad. I'm amazed that they got some of the talent they got at the price that they got it, and I'm also amazed at the fact that they did so little. After going 9-8, after going through all the trials and tribulations that they went through last year, I thought they were going to be aggressive in free agency. At every twist and turn during this media storm at the combine, the Max Crosby rumors, all these different rumors coming out that sound like contradictions of each other, you come to find that the Lions are okay with evolving in a very different way than everybody anticipated. When they went up to those podiums after the year ended and said, we are going to evolve, we thought it was going to be like, all right, maybe they're going to be more aggressive. Maybe they're going to be aggressive in getting free agents. Maybe they're going to spend some money. Maybe they're going to do some trades, right? None of that came to pass. What we found is they are aggressively getting rid of older players. They are aggressively going after bargain bin deals. And they are setting up for something that we are not privy to. There is like an extra level of secrecy that's been added this year. It's not as transparent, it's not as forthcoming as usual. So maybe something is going on behind the scenes, but at the end of the day, we have not been aggressive in the way that we need to be aggressive if we're trying to make this team a Super Bowl contender. This team right now is kind of set up in a way where we can be a great offense, but we don't have any defense. We have 9 picks now. We have a ton of depth in the offensive line room. There are some needs that need to be addressed still. The cutting of Taylor Decker was just very strange to me. It just didn't make sense to create a hole that didn't need to be a hole. If you wanted the money, then what were you doing with the money after you cut him? Like you haven't got a great tackle replacement for Taylor Decker. That just didn't make sense to me. But the more I look at it, the more I'm starting to see a picture of, hey, we have shed the old talent. We're not going to be beholden to players that we love in the building anymore. You're either going to be extremely talented and paid, or you're going to be going 9-8. This is a reckoning. They're all going. I thought we were going to be bringing back way more players than we did. I thought they was going to work something out with Isaiah Zaloni, or bring back AQM, or bring back Demo, or find a way to make Demo happy. Nope. Khalif Raymond, I'm pretty sure they could have got $1 million deal with some incentives in case he acts up. He actually becomes a receiver at some point outside of a return player. No, it's a bunch of get out of here's. Right? Even Roy Lopez, who played very well last year, no, get out of here. So when you look at it, it's like, man, this is not what we thought when people said evolve, right? Even Amik, get him out of here. He got paid by Washington for no reason. He was awful last year. I don't know why he got paid. I don't get it. But let's go into some of the notable additions and re-signings. We brought back Rodrigo. Big fan of him. Cade Mays is a great signing. I'm gonna go deeper into that in a moment. Isaiah Pacheco, I am a little irritated by some of the content creators that are out there acting as if Isaiah Pacheco was just some sneaky good move, this great, just this is an awesome signing. Like, bro, he's a backup running back. He's good in pass protection. He is cool with a goal line. We might use him 6 to 8 carries a game, but at the end of the day, there is no guarantee that he can stay healthy. He has a physical running style without the body to be able to have a physical running style. That is not a signing that's like, ooh, that's great. I wouldn't even taking a running back late in the draft off of the table. That's how much of that a non-factor that signing is to me, right? Christian Izien, they are pulling up 2-year they're pulling up videos from 2 years ago for this dude. Look, if you want to be excited about something, be excited about Tom Kennedy coming back, who's giving us good snaps. Be excited about Roger McCreary. Be excited about Rocky Sin. Guys that have done something. Don't sit here and act like, oh, Christian Izien got a pick on Jared Goff 2 years ago. We should be happy, right? No. Tyler Conklin, I like that, right? But there are some unknowns. The players that we have in white are unknowns. The green, the players that I put in green, I like those players. But I know nothing about Drew Scruggs that makes me feel like he is important. But at the end of the day, it's a depth piece, right? As many injuries as we have had, we need to have depth pieces. Chris Izien, a safety, cool. Isaiah Pacheco, whatever. Laurie Borm, I spelled his name wrong, and I'm not going to fix it because he's not important enough for me to be fixing his name, right? The scariest thing about Larry Borm is the fact that he might be the starting right tackle, which I am hoping is not the case. One good year, one time is just a little scary for me. But moving forward, let's look at the notable departures. Roy Lopez going, AQM going, Alexander Zaloni going, Demo going, Khalif Raymond going, Amit going, Taylor Decker, I didn't even put him on the list. He's going. And for me, what that tells me is that our puppies are dogs now. We don't need veterans in certain areas anymore because our young players have become veterans. Aiden Hutchinson is the veteran of the defensive line group now. Penei Sewell is the veteran of the offensive line group, right? The wide receiver veteran is Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got veterans at safety. We got veterans in every area of the team, and we don't need these players anymore just for their veteran leadership. They aren't good enough. If we are trying to be better, if they are trying to evolve, they have to upgrade at these positions, and I understand where they're coming from with that. So I'm not going to hold this against them. And they've filled out so much depth at this point. Now they only really have the big needs left. And I would have liked for them to just kind of do the big needs. Why don't you just knock the needs out so we don't got to do this? But right now, the needs that I'm seeing are these in order, right? Left or right tackle with Penei Sewell. We got the defensive end 2. We don't have anybody next to Hutch as far as I'm concerned. Now that AQM is left. DT3, I'm not really comfortable with Levi or Mekhi Wingo being the third defensive tackle, mainly because, dude, these guys can get hurt. Like, one of the things I realize is that when we have our backups get hurt and then our starters get hurt and now we're on our backups backup and we're basically fielding a non-NFL player in an NFL game, you get the results that we got last year. So I want an upgrade there, right? I think safety needs to be taken a little bit more serious, but the way the Lions are operating, it seems as though they're going to push a lot of their chips into the draft and the after draft free agency market if they can't get those things in the draft. What I will say is, as far as the safeties are concerned, we're starting to see them out and about. We're seeing them moving around. So maybe they're waiting on some medical information before they make any big decisions on getting quality safeties in the building. So with all of that said, when we look at this, some of these needs can be filled with one person. We can have a tweener build type player be defensive end number 3 and defensive tackle number 3. We can have the same thing with defensive end 2, such and so forth, right? So when I look at this, I kind of see that there's really no need for panic. We got backup QB, we got backup running back, we got a full wide receiver room, tight end. Sam Laporta looks fine. At the end of the year, Sam Laporta looked fine. And hopefully his rehab and his treatment is going fine on his back. We got some backup with Tyler Conklin. We went out there and did so much depth wise for the offensive line. Now there's a full competition for left guard. We got a good center. When you look at all of these things all together, you realize they have addressed some needs. It's almost like they did the bare minimum amount of addressing needs so that when they go into the draft, they can go out there and address the others, right? Because if we get a quality tackle in the first round and go defense for the rest of the draft, we may actually address all our needs. And one thing that I definitely want to double down is for biggest needs, right? I'm sure somebody's going to look at this list and be like, what about linebacker 3? My response to you is we need to be more like, how do you say it? We need to be more like modern defenses where we are in nickel against 11 personnel. We shouldn't be in base against 3 wide receiver sets. So there may not be a need for us to have so many linebackers. I would put that as need 6. We got 6 needs and 9 draft picks and the after draft free agency market. I'm willing to be fine with that, right? So they've done their job for the most part. Now, I want to talk about the biggest upgrades that we actually experienced during this free agency period, right? The biggest upgrade is at slot corner, right? Amik Robertson was all-time bad last year. It was really sad to see. He's like an anti-all-pro. He was the 8th best. I mean, he's the 8th worst corner in all of football last year. He's ranked 106th out of 114 corners. It was bad. People were picking on him in every which way. He was giving up big plays, short plays. He wasn't getting turnovers. It was just poor play altogether. The difference between Amik and Roger McCreary is the fact that McCreary is faster, better, stronger. It's just better in every way that you could think of. 29th compared to 106. That's a huge jump in quality of play, right? And then when it comes to the other thing that I wanted to talk about, the other place that I feel like we upgraded significantly was at center, right? I think Cade Mays, he's not a super great center. We're not talking Creed, Humphreys, or even Tyler Linderbaum, but he has the superpower that we need. He has awareness, and he communicates well, and he's great in pass pro. We have 2 guards, one of which was all-time bad in pass protection and just doesn't, and the other one is super talented in Tate, but he lacks awareness sometimes. And having a center that is aware, that can identify blitzes and actually move his feet in situations where, okay, there's a game or a stunt and they're coming through my gap, or hey, this is simulated pressure, I'm going to actually still help after they simulate the pressure. K Mays is good at that. Graham left those young kids to drown by themselves. There were so many times I do a film review after every Lions game. Graham Glasgow was basically touching air on a good portion of simulated pressures. They simulate the pressure and everybody's one-on-one and the center is touching no one. And it sounds like, oh, okay, I mean, everybody's one-on-one, they should be able to survive, but that also means that you're one-on-one. You got Tate Ratledge one-on-one with Chris Jones. You got Tate Ratledge one-on-one with Jalen Carter. You got Christian Mahogany one-on-one with complete dogs. And their best strengths isn't really their pass blocking, it's their run blocking. And adding Cade Mays to this offensive line actually helps him in a way too, because he's a very average run blocker. You put 2 maulers next to him, all he has to do is be that combo guy. Like he's fine. Like he's very careful about not missing second level defenders, but that's not his thing. Like getting horizontal and stretching for that block is not necessarily his best trait. But at the end of the day, we have a immobile quarterback, and our last center was letting people run free down the A gap towards my immobile quarterback. Just solving that is going to help our offense tremendously, right? Just people like if you want to think of a time where it's like, what do you mean Graham was really bad? Think about that Eagles game where N'Kobe Dean just like, it's not like Graham didn't see him. He ran dead at Graham did like he ran dead at Graham and just whooped him and went directly to my quarterback. It was like instant, right? Cade Mays is good at pass pro. We don't necessarily need our center to be the greatest run blocker, mainly because we have very good run blockers right next to him. It's a solid value. We're not paying billions of dollars. We're not paying this center like a tackle, like if we were to try to get Linderbaum, right? And he hasn't allowed a sack in 2 years. So I am a fan of Cade Mays, and I feel like that is going to be something that really helps us in this next upcoming season. Hopefully we can make some more moves. Hopefully we knock the draft out of the park. Looking at everything, I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm going to be doing draft profiles. We're going to start bad to good or lower, like not bad to good. That's a little much. We're going to start with draft gems, and we're going to move all the way up to the first round. So we're going to start with the edge class. We're going to do linebackers. We're going to do corner / safety, even though it almost feels like that's kind of addressed at this point. And I'm going to talk about basically just do draft profiles just so you can know who's in the draft and who to look out for, especially with the late guys, because the late guys is where we actually take our designated pass rushers. That's the rounds where we can get the guys that's quick off the edge. We don't got to worry about big edge, power edge, none of that. It's about getting to that quarterback, and I feel like that's what people love. With that being said, I appreciate y'all and y'all support that y'all been giving me lately. And whether it is game day, draft day, or any day in between, it's Lions Live 365. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.